Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in for tonight's Sports Scene episode. Look, this week has had a lot of interesting topics in sports. Lawrence, I know on the lineup tonight we will be seeing a lot of that, including Standley Hondina. But before we get to that, let me just say you look really bright in your nice shirt. Of course, thanks to our sponsor, we have Trophy House. We have our Sports logo on the shirt as well.
Yeah, no, I got to say a big thank you to #1 Trophy House for the garments or the shirts. Roxy girl there, you've got your Roxy shirt there, and you know the mugs that they've also provided to us, and also the other partners, PNG Motors, New Ford, and B Mobile as well. What's on the show tonight?
All right, so in the lineup, Dika Toua remains confident of her entry into the Olympics. And Standley Hondina joins Lawrence later on the show to shed some light on the much talked about decision made of the Digicel Cup bidding teams and more of that. So Lawrence, before we get to that, scoreline please.
Yeah, no worries. Score lines from last week. We'll check out the NSL now, the women's NSL. And this is how it was last week. Poro FC 6 beat Morabel Tulip FC 6-0. Sipik FC 4-0 against Tusbab, Makam Rainings 4-1 against Pacific Gardens, and Bara FC 1-0 against Rainy Lay. That's in the Northern Conference, round 10 results. In the Southern Conference, NCD Hekari 9 beat NCD FC 1. Amoana FC had a 0-0 draw with Pom City Academy, and FC Genesis a big win over Pom City FC there, 5-1. So the Women's National Soccer League currently still going on in the Northern Division and also the Southern Division as well. Now, score lines of softball. Okay, let's check out that the softball results. Here they are. The Pom Women's Softball Association Comp. Cubs 7 beat Aviat Jets 0. Gazelle 11 beat Marinas 3. United Sisters 14 beat Silver Tips 8, and One Tox beat Gazelle 14-10. Stingers beat Chebu 23 to 9, and Gazelle 1 beat United Sisters there 16-9. It was a washout. Got some washout later on in that on the weekend. Pom Women's Softball Association Comp results. Well. That's the results we got. Now, this is the ladder, the points ladder for the Women's NSL Northern Conference. Poro leading there on 30 points. Sipik, Bara, and Makam Rainings make up the top 4. And in the bottom for the Pacific Gardens, Rainy Lay, Morabel, and Tusbab after round number 10. In the Southern Conference points ladders, this is how it is. Oh, we'll go to the Port Moresby Softball Women's ladder. And Bears are leading at the moment. Gazelle second, United Sisters third, and Stingers there on fourth of the, the latest of the Port Moresby Women's Softball Association Cup.
All right, so there you have it. We've also spoken to the president, Ian Soweni, about the 2021 calendar. I know last year a lot of sports had to put their sporting activities on hold. So here is an update from PNG, Port Moresby Women's Softball and the calendar for the year. Last year's lockdown of venues due to COVID-19 saw the softball calendar being put on hold until the later part of the year, when Sports Foundation gave approval for sports to resume activities in all its facilities. And the women's softball here in the city was one of the sporting bodies who had to forego the remaining activities on their calendars and plan for the new year. And that led to the decision to start 2021 with fully loaded softball.
We're playing what we call a fully loaded softball. The rules basically came out from Softball Australia. We've adopted what they did there to bring back interest into the game.
With the national championships in sight, this version of the game proved to be a suitable starter.
Also, we've decided to play one round because of the upcoming national championships. It's under the PNG Baseball Softball Confederation calendar. It will be in April during the Easter weekend. So we have decided to play so we can have a squad put together to attend the national championships. I think the championship is scheduled to be in KVN. So for Port Moresby women, I think we are 9 times champions already, so we need to attend to defend our title. Yes. The fully loaded softball is basically it's fully loaded, meaning every 10 at bat, every half inning at bat, you get the bases loaded with runners. So it is basically the last 3. We have 9 players in the game. The last 3, 9, 8, 7 in each inning, they stand on the bases to run, and it's supposed to be fast-paced. For batting, you have the 3 runners on base to score as well. So it's like scoring straight from the first batter and not waiting for batters to get on base before you start scoring. And it's shorter boundaries, so it sort of should encourage women to hit more home runs if they can.
Also on the PWSA calendar is the ever-popular slow pitch competition, among other events.
Each year, we have been talking about running junior competitions. So we've got that planned in our calendar. If COVID, taking into mind the new passing and COVID and schools regulation. So the corporate slow pitch is sort of the fundraiser for the association. So with fundraising, we sort of looking at starting the corporate slow pitch because that brings in the much needed money to help us run our comp. So we're looking at June, July, but depending on if the juniors don't start right after this in May, we may start it early too.
One of the association's commendable initiatives is their promotion of social and health key messaging that has been running for a couple of years, and this year is no different.
The association has for years supported various issues that affect women in our game, in our country as well. So we support, not so much support, but we raise awareness on cancer in women, mainly breast cancer, cervical cancer, cancer in men, and then we have the gender-based violence awareness and the HIV/AIDS awareness. So the last 2 weekends we ran the cancer in women. So we encouraged clubs to come in the pink as part of their playing uniforms. So most clubs did that, and on the first, about 2 weeks ago, we had the PNG Cancer Foundation on board. They supported the association, and they ran awareness on January was the cervical cancer month, so they ran awareness on that, and they brought in flyers and stuff. Today we continue with awareness for men, cancer in men, so clubs are encouraged to wear blue. The next 2 weekends, next week and the following weekend, will be gender-based violence, so clubs will be encouraged to wear purple.
In the meantime, fully loaded softball is heading into Game 5 this weekend with about 2 more months to go before they round up the competition.
We encourage people to come and watch. We're playing under the new protocols of nuclear passing in COVID as well, so we're trying to maintain that, making sure clubs, players who attend are well and healthy to play and not sick, so we're trying to encourage that.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene, and this is the build-up segment for Tokyo 2021, well, 2020, now to be played in this year, I think in August, July, thereabouts. So this time in weightlifting, Dika Toua speaks of the chances to get into the games.
Preparations were going very well. Until March of last year, when we got back from Canberra at our last qualifying event, which was the Australian Open. So we did very well up until, so with weightlifting, there are 6 qualifying events, a minimum of 6 qualifying events that we have to attend. So Maura Baru and I had only done 5, and COVID came in, so we were unable to attend our 6th event, which would have just qualified us. because that was one of the criteria. But we're not losing hope. We still got time, and the Oceania Championships was postponed to April this year. So Maria and I are preparing for these Oceania Championships. Once we win the title, then we will automatically qualify in the region. So preparations are going very well. We've been having monthly competitions since June last year, and it has been really well with the help of our coach Willie Mara Tamasi, and also our federation and the PNG Olympic Committee, who has backed us up since our return from New Caledonia. But from time to time, every day, our coach, Paul Kofa, calls us up to check on us every day. So yeah, preparations are going well, and we're looking forward to the Tokyo Olympics in July. But prior to that will be the Oceania Championships in Norway. Since the COVID has brought all the championships and all the competitions, major events, and all together, 2021 is the Olympic Games, and then Birmingham 2022. So crossing my fingers that I will continue on, and then, hopefully to another Pacific Games in Solomon Islands. Yes, I have set records in the new category, in the 49 kg category. I've come down from the 53 kg category to the 49s. And yes, I've set new Oceania records in December with a total of 100 and, so it was 107 and 78 kilograms, so yeah, total of 185.
All right, good night and welcome back to Sports Scene. Now tonight we have the pleasure of having with us in the studio Standley Hondina, the current PNG NRLC manager, looking after all the Digicel Cup teams, plus he's also the acting CEO for the PNG RFL as well, which under that comes the Hunters. Now, over the last couple of weeks, there's been some massive bids that have been put through for new franchises to join the Digicel Cup. There's been, talk about basically the justification why they didn't join. But, I thought we'd bring Standley in and, have a chat with him and, get it from the horse's mouth. Standley, good night and welcome on the show.
Lawrence, thank you, viewers. And it's a pleasure to be back on this show after a while.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, let me first of all say big congratulations. I mean, you're wearing a couple of hats now. You probably need a bit of help there, but mate, I tell you, you're doing a fantastic job. Let's get straight into it. Simba Warriors, Motu Koita, Laka Toys, Civic Pride. A lot of talk on social media. Everyone up in arms, the Motu Koitas, the Civics, and the Simbus saying all sorts of things as well. Denied entry. Maybe you can just tell us, brief reasons why they didn't get through.
Lawrence, I'd be happy at this junction having this opportunity to clear some doubts and share some lights. I think, like we said, a lot have been said, denied entry, rejected. I think they're not good words to use. From the PNG NRL's board perspective, it's not a hard no, it's just not now.
Okay.
While we want to grow the competition, PNG RFL has its presence in the 22 provinces. While we want to grow the competition to those provinces, what we've built over time and the standards that we've put and the quality of the game is something that we have to protect first.
Nice, yeah.
With on the other slip of it is to extend the reach and get out there. So we have built NRLC to a stage where it's got processes and systems.
Yep.
And it was not like the times when I played. We pick up the boot, turn out on the football field, do your 80 minutes business there and get out of it.
Yeah.
Now it's become evolved over time and we've set processes and systems in place. PNG NRLC has its own board. The board is comprising of independent people. It doesn't have affiliation with existing franchises and teams, though they have a rep in the board through their chairman, which is Adrian Chow, obviously, at this stage. NRLC has a AGM at the end of every financial year. Every 3-year term, the election comes because the game is owned by or played morely by the PNG NRLC Digicel Cup teams. They put in a lot of investment into the game. They become key stakeholders in the game.
Absolutely.
So in that space, it's right for them to have the chairmanship of the organization. So he's the chairman. Then we have Lorna McPherson from Digicel, who's the naming rights sponsors rep. We have John Wilshire, who's been an ex-player and a member of the PNG NRLC board. Myself as the competition manager, ex-officio. We used to have the CEO of PNG RFL. So the board comprises of independent people.
Nice.
And that's the process that we've set that got the game from where it was a couple of years back to where it sits today. Key achievements, things like delivering a successful season under COVID-19. When rugby league was not played across big towns of the world. So to get to that stage, in short, we've built systems and processes. We've built standards that, like you said in your introductory remarks, when I leave NRLC and go to PNG RFL, someone that comes in finds it easy to keep on and continuation and consistency in the development and growth of the game.
Is there.
It's because the process that have never been there before that we've established. So coming back to the question, I thought I should say some light first on the background of where we are to, you know, how the decisions are made. So in line of growing the game, like I said, we don't want to compromise quality. And in doing so, it's not a no. It's not rejected.
I mean, with all the franchises, there's a lot of, you know, pride and, you know, where we come from. And, you know, like me, I'm a Gulf and, you know, we're a bit of Central as well. And so all of this, the Simba Warriors, the Motu Koita, really good bids that they put in. But it's not a hard no, as you said. But, you know, they can be able to look back and, you know. Now, let me just pose this other question. It's not there, but had COVID-19 had not been there, would things maybe a bit different this year? Sorry, I just threw that in.
In terms of systems and processes, that doesn't deviate to change the way we do things. It's just the way it is. The same thing that we do. We call out for expression of interest. Teams put in their bid. There's basic guidelines that we follow. So when they applied on a case by case, we did not say your bid rejected. We wrote to them. That showed that not now, but we wrote to them saying, look, you've met these criteria. You've got these little things to work on. Now let's work with it. Let's work with it. So when you come in, you don't defeat the purpose of the competition and the quality of it. Many people are talking a lot because they want about equal opportunities, sharing the spread, giving teams in representation in terms of province. But that's one parameter of it. What about the others? The budget and the cost of running it. You know, the time frames that we have around it. Jersey production takes 6 to 8 weeks. So there's other administrative and operational challenges that we have to come to terms to, you know, really sit down and do these things. So we've written to them individually, and I've advised them that, you know, through our contact, come to us and let's work a team to it. So when we get up there, you come in, bang, you are in. So while that is happening, we have the in-house, the 12 that are in the house, to look at as well. It's not guaranteed space for them that they've been there and they own it and they're there. While these are knocking on the door, it puts, for the competition, it's good. It creates that atmosphere where, you know, if you don't pull up, there's people lined up and ready to come in. If you don't do well, they can come in and take your space. So these sort of things is good and it will help the competition get better. But, you know, it's an unfortunate news for them if they've been hoping for it. And we, you know, share the same sentiments of sorrow with them. But, you know, my encouragement to them would be turn that bad news that you've got now, the challenge that you pick on, and turn it out into a motivation. And come partner me, let's work with it. Let's help you so that come next year, you get at least better.
Yep.
Now, Lawrence, from experiences in the last, I've been in the NRLC for the last 6 years.
Yep.
They come for a bid. When we say no, they give up. And then they wait for the time to come to call for expressions of interest, and then they start bringing their papers and rushing in again. You don't want to be in the same place 12 months on. You want to at least get a place closer. So come and let's work together.
Yeah.
So come next time, you can hold me responsible as well.
Yeah.
We've been working through this. You've said this. Now you are not delivering.
Yeah.
So that would be a smarter way to approach it, as opposed to just like trying all the enemies, getting out there, you know, saying all these things.
Yeah.
Doing all these things, but then you give up after the game starts. You go into, you know, doing your own things, and come next year when the season ends and calling for expressions of interest go out, you start putting the team together to come again. Rest assured that you may be sitting in the same place 12 months from now if you go down that road. So it's good that I'm putting it out there now. So to the 3 teams and even others who intend to come, we want to grow the game. Let's work. Let's work as a process. There's requirements that we need to take and get down so that come that time we are equally prepared and we can help you to get over it. So.
Thank you very much, Stanley. Well, we're going to take a short time out now, and we'll be back to wrap things up right here on Sportsy.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports In. Unfortunately, this is the final segment for tonight. Lawrence, please run through the weekend preview for us.
Yeah, no worries. Dini, I'll run through the weekend previews for you, and this is how it looks like on our screens. Women's National Soccer League Round 8 in the Southern Conference. This Saturday, Palm City Academy take on NCD at 11. Amoana, 1 p.m. will take on FC Genesis. And the big one, NCD Hekari versus Palm City FC at 3 p.m. This should be a cracker of a game. We've seen some lopsided scores lately, but I'm sure this will definitely go down to the wire. Now, the Northern Conference, let's have a look at their draw. Barra FC versus Moraba Tulip at 11. Makam Rainings, 1 p.m. versus Tusbab. And at 3 p.m., Rainy Lay FC take on Sipik FC. And from Goroka, Pacific Gardens FC, 3 p.m., will take on Poro FC. That is the lineup, round 11 fixtures of the Women's National Soccer League.
Yeah, I think the interesting match to follow for the Southern Conference would be the top of the ladder clash between Palm City FC and Hekari women's team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Should be a ripper.
So let's move on to softball. We have softball as well.
Yep, there's some softball fixtures that we need to also say. The draws for this Saturday: Cebu versus Silver Tips at 9 a.m., 10:30 Aviat Jets versus Marinas, 12 p.m. Stingers versus Gazelle, 1:30 p.m. Gazelle versus Cubs, and at 3 p.m. One Tox versus United Sisters. Yeah, the softball grounds right next to the NFS and the AFL there will surely come to light on Saturday for the Palm Women's Softball.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'd also like, before we leave, I'd like to point out that we've already seen and heard from Standley Hondina. Nothing is stopping the clubs for us. Pardon me, Sipik Pride, Simba Warriors, or Motu Koita, if you want to come and share some insight as well on what the clubs are, the franchises are, what actions or what steps they're taking to, you know, go back and regroup and come back, you know. We welcome your presence on Sportsin as well to share that with us in the coming weeks. So that's that. Absolutely. Turn a negative into a positive, prove the PNG NRLC wrong. And say, no, we're in it for the long run. And 12 months will just fly past. That's right. And we do wish you all the best. So this is where we'll leave you. Please do join us same time, same place next week. Oops, I forgot to tell them. Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. Please contact us. If you have a story tip, please contact us on sports@emtv.com.pg. That's on email. Or you can, if you're in Port Moresby, you can stop by Garden City, that's here at 4 Mile Burco, level 2, and ask for Lawrence or myself. Or if you're on Facebook, just shoot us a message to our Sports Scene page and leave your details with your story tip, and we will get right back to you. One more thing. One more thing. We've got to say on the 15th of February, Sir John Guy Stadium and the TAC venues are open. You can go to Sir John Guy Stadium, walk around the track, you know, get fit,
Sporting groups can go and check out the place. TAC, the pool's going to be open. So yeah, definitely some normalcy happening. Of course, in all these venues, the COVID-19 and the health protocols will be practiced.
Exactly. Maybe I should get myself a shoe or two
we'll
at
ask number
Trophy
one
House.
trophy.
That's right. And get out there myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go walking and use the gym at Sir John Guy Stadium. I think that's going to be something that I'll be looking forward to.
And cut back on some fast food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, this is it for tonight. We will see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.
Good night.